sis to sis. Hiya, welcome back to sis to sis. This is going to be our fourth video, so thanks for everyone who liked, shared and subscribed and getting notifications, because each time a video comes up, hopefully get notified and you can watch and share. Thank you so much. The last show we did, we spoke about 10 ways to protect your energy, and we ran out of time. We could just keep waffling on as we do, and we spoke about 10 ways to protect your energy. We didn't get time to talk about things you can do in order to raise your energy if you have been affected by having your energy diminished. So we're going to quickly run through those. I'm going to let Charlie do that, and then this show is mostly going to be about after points how to raise your energy. Is going to be talking more about stereotypes, about body types, actually more so, and as you can see, we are different body types. We've been different body types our whole life. Although we look alike, we've had our different struggles through being different body types, and we're going to talk more about that and how to be positive no matter what, say, shape, size, color, complexion, hair type, whatever that you are, but to love you. So I'm going to let Charlie go through raising your vibrations, and I'll join in sometimes, and then we'll talk about our different experiences with how we've been made.
Definitely. Okay, hi guys. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is sort of just a run on from our last show. As Tan said, we spoke about protecting our energy. So what I'm about to run through is just about raising that same energy. So I'm basically going to talk about raising your dopamine, your oxytocin, your serotonin and your endorphin levels.
Sorry, I'm mesmerised. I love your earrings.
Oh, thank you so much. They
are great.
Thank you.
Really nice. I've just noticed them. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, right. So the first one is dopamine. Dopamine, otherwise known as the reward chemical. So we can do this by doing little things, completing a task, completing, maybe cooking the dinner, doing a clear out. All these things, once you've completed a task, you feel good. You feel sort of self-reward.
I can honestly, sorry, I know you've just started and I said you were going to get on with it, but I can honestly say, like, if I'm just going to start I end the term, before I can actually relax and just, what makes me feel really good is, this sounds so bad, guys, so OCD, but actually, like Marie Kondo, if you watch Marie Kondo in my wardrobe, my drawers, and actually file all my mail, because during the term I don't get time to do all those things. I just chuck it all in, and then I feel a kind of state of chaos until that point where I tidy and organise my life. Then I feel like, okay, I can just do whatever now. Definitely. I can go out, I can let go, whatever. But I get what you're saying. It's just about just doing those little closure things,
Definitely. So it could be, as you said, smallest task. If you say to yourself, okay, I've got to do the food shopping today, and you actually do the food shopping, by the time you come home, you kind of feel a bit complete that you've done your task. So it doesn't need to be anything major. We're not talking about a huge purchase or a huge exercise task out there. It can be something small, sorting out the clothes, completing the laundry, hoovering. The moment you complete a task, learn to pay gratitude to yourself. Learn to appreciate that you've actually finished the task. So you kind of give yourself a pat on the back. The next one would be sort of doing any kind of self-care activities or routines. Again, you can raise your dopamine levels, your reward, by doing something that you feel rewarded for after, i.e. having a bath, a shower, a massage, anything, doing your nails, washing your feet, not that you don't wash your feet, but sometimes a foot care routine.
I know the feet masks are excellent.
Put on. We've done the masks, the silk masks and the face masks. We've taken pictures of us looking a bit like, is it Jason or Freddie or one of them, and taken pictures on the same night.
As you said, whether you spend £30 on a mask or £1 on a mask, just doing that act of taking that time out for you, because it symbolises you feel better.
You're rewarding yourself.
And you reward yourself, so I get that. It does raise you a lot, actually. I was going to say a little bit, but actually every time I do something for myself in that way, I feel good.
Definitely.
So doing your hair is just got to be like
Exactly.
I know men feel that as well, that barbershop feel.
Big gang. But yeah, so sort of like, and then that would lead on to sort of celebrating small wins. Again, completing small tasks, but celebrating small wins. It could be the smallest thing. You finished a book, you've done something. It doesn't have to be a big major win. It doesn't have to be a career change. It doesn't have to be a huge relationship
what they
change.
call a SMART target.
Basically,
small, manageable,
achievable, realistic target.
Yeah,
so if you can start setting yourself small targets, no one's saying do a huge to-do list. Even if you put 3 things on there, today I'm going to wake up and I'm going to pre-do this, or I'm going to do this today. As you said, I'm going to sort through the mail. Tomorrow I might sort through the clothes.
Getting through your to-do list is rewarding.
Are
But
things.
at the same time, if you don't get through your to-do list...
It's fine. Don't beat yourself up. It's not a competition. What we said in the last show, do not compete or compare yourself with others. It's at your own pace. But learn to start rewarding yourself and do things that feel good at your pace, whatever works for you, basically. Okay, so that would go on to the next one.
Doable. Yeah.
Yes. So, right, the next one is oxytocin. If we move on to oxytocin, which would be the love hormone.
Okay.
So those could be things like playing with a child, children, or a pet. The laughter of children is priceless. You know, playing a board game with them, playing out in the garden with them if you have a garden, going for a walk with them, appreciating nature and the birds singing and the trees swaying, all of these things, dancing around the house.
Laughter.
I love
the best medicine, isn't it?
Exactly. So all of these things, I have 2 cats. My cats tend to, or animals tend to sort of pick up on your emotions anyway. When I'm feeling great, love spending time with my cats. When I'm feeling bad, they come closer to me. I love kind of appreciating the fact that they've picked up on whatever's going on.
I could say the same about no matter what mood I go into the classroom with, I tend not to go in with a mood anyway. I try my best, but sometimes you do carry things, you know, as much as you try to. And no matter what, children... Honestly, the minute one of them says something, approaches you, shows you something, it's just, you know...
Yeah, smiles,
it
hugs.
just goes. You cannot be in a bad mood around children, you know, like they just lift you. And as you said, the same for animals, but I don't necessarily have pets myself. And I've had pets in the past, so I understand what you mean. I'd love a dog. That's a bit of a sore topic in my household right now. But I do get what they bring to you and what you can give. But it's really, really good. To spend a good amount of time a day.
You can even do this, I guess, with plants. As silly as that sounds, plants are a living thing. It's a living organism.
Especially if you name them.
Put music on. Our mum used to put music on, do you remember? And she used to have that special sort of food, and she used to sort of like, you know, caress the leaves and talk to them. I did see something online the other day that I thought was fantastic. Name one of your plants after yourself. That way, every time you feed, treat, and pour love into your plant, you're talking to yourself. So if you name a plant, if I name a plant Charlie when I go home, I'll be like, Charlie, I hope you grow. Charlie, I'm giving you water. I'm feeding you. It sounds a bit crazy.
In front of anyone else.
No. Definitely not in front of anyone else. But if you can imagine, if you feel a bit weird just telling yourself how much you love yourself and all these things.
No, I get the point.
Imagine just naming a plant after yourself.
Because I name my plants. So therefore, I speak to them, and I can get how that can work. But it does feel a bit like
if your
the
neighbours
mad plant lady,
hopefully they
mad
don't
cat lady.
I will not be the old lady with all the cats and the plants.
All right, let's move on, Char.
Okay, right. So the next one in oxytocin was giving compliments to others.
Oh, okay.
When you show gratitude and appreciation, and you can compliment others, it is the love hormone. So you feel good that you've made somebody else feel good. It's not always about what everyone's telling you. It's how can you make somebody else, their love hormone sort of rise. Compliments, gifting, not always buying people off, but showing people you appreciate them.
Definitely.
You know,
I
you
think
taught
sometimes I do that anyway. Like I just said, you know, your earrings are nice. If I see something nice about you, I'm going to tell you. I don't hate on anyone for anything. And I have a habit when I go into places, especially work in the morning, if someone's got a night outfit on, I say, oh, that's a really nice outfit. Oh, you've done your hair. And I just notice things like that because I notice that it makes people feel very good about themselves. But I also do it with children. And once a head teacher said, oh, no, it wasn't a head teacher actually, it was a colleague, it was a senior teacher that I work with. And I worked with, this was in a previous place. And she was like, oh, you point out what the children are wearing, and some children don't have like nice clothes or, you know, labels. I said, it's not a materialistic thing. I'm not commenting on that. I see something. It could be your hair. Oh, you've got a red bubble in your hair today. That looks really nice. Oh, I might want a red bubble too. Yeah. Just to lift their spirit, especially if it's a child who I know is dealing with things from their home life, that lifts them. But, you know, it was taken so out of context. Like, I'm noticing what you're wearing. I don't care what you're wearing. I really don't care about material stuff, so to speak. But it is about, say, just paying someone else a compliment. Doesn't matter. Oh, you got a purple t-shirt on. Purple's my favourite colour. Like, that can make someone's day.
Maybe that is something that isn't done with her. It's not something that comes naturally to her. Again, she's taken out of context, because by saying someone, like, for instance, if you said, oh, I like your yellow top, I wouldn't put it down to say, oh, you've got a nice designer yellow top, or your non-designer top is nice. But that's what I think. But I think the longer I spent with that person, I realised that that's something that's within that person. Okay. Because when I saw the kind of way they present themselves and the way they carry themselves, I realised that they're compensating for something that maybe wasn't there in their childhood. Okay. So they saw that as, maybe if they were a child and I was saying that to other children, they might feel some type of way. So I get that, and it just teaches me to be a bit more understanding of my surrounding and who I'm talking to. But I definitely didn't come from that place when I was saying it, because I know how important it is to, when you're raising some people up, don't make other people feel low. Exactly. Like, you don't need to do that in life. You just, my children, when we go shopping often, they kind of give each other the eye roll or the side eye look when I'm telling people, oh my gosh, your makeup is so nice, your hair's so nice. I'm one of those people, I will never necessarily ask people where they got things from, because I don't envy anybody for what they have. Our mum always told us, don't be red eye, because you don't know what people have done to get what they have. So that's something that was instilled in us very early on. But I am happy to talk to old, young, no matter what race you are. I will talk to you at a bus stop. If I get the bus, I will talk to you at a bus stop.
That doesn't happen anyway.
Often, sometimes. Okay, when I'm stationary, I talk to anybody in the playground, when the schools were open. Doesn't matter what age you are, what race you are, what sex you are. I will talk to you about anything and everything.
Nice. If you see someone nice, you see someone nice.
Definitely. And even when I used to be in the school where the boys used to go, when I used to see the parents at the end of the day, as a fellow parent, but somebody that worked with their children, I say like, oh my gosh, you know, such and such was so good today. Oh my gosh, he was so brilliant.
That love,
because sometimes parents have to wait for an end of year report or end of term report, not knowing how their child has been, and you knowing that your child is happy, pouring into other children, kind of excelling, not just academically but emotionally. Sometimes it's all what a parent wants to hear. You can just, building each other up with compliments, whether children, adults, no matter what, and no matter the environment that you're in. Okay, right, that's it for oxytocin, guys. Sorry, I did say I'd breeze through. The next one is serotonin, which is known as the mood stabilizer. Now, we can stabilize our mood by meditating. As we spoke in our last video, don't be afraid to spend time alone. Sometimes the answers that you are looking for come in silence. That sounds the opposite of each other, answers, silence. But when your mind is at peace and you are quiet and you are still, a lot of the time the answers that you are looking for come to you. Exactly. And if something does come to you, by all means, write it down so you don't forget. We've also got sun exposure. Sitting in the sun as
the day is like the hottest day of the year, guys. We're just going to wrap this up soon because we want to be outside.
As natural beings, we need the sun.
We need to recharge our melanin.
We need to recharge our melanin. We need to recharge my crystals. Oh my gosh, I haven't got my crystals at home. We need to recharge the crystals. All of that. We are living, breathing big crystals.
Big plants.
So how you kind of would recharge your crystals in the sun, those of you who use crystals, those of you who would move your plants in the sun on the windowsill, do that for yourself.
Hydrated, getting some of that.
Exactly.
Photosynthesis needs to take place the same way our hormones need to be produced by getting that vitamin. Well, our vitamin D is produced by getting the sun in and then changing it into hormones that are going to affect so many different functions within our body.
If you can, try to go out in the midday sun between 12 and 2 o'clock. Now, I know coming from a Caribbean background, they tell you to avoid that sun. But if you want to activate your...
So mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun.
Well, I guess I must be a bit of both. I sweat on my nose, so I was always told I was a bit of a bad dog. But yeah, if you can sit out in the sun with no sunglasses on, but with your eyes closed and let the sunlight hit your eyelids, it will reach the back of your retina. It will most definitely activate your pineal gland. You will tap in more into your intuition and into your dreams. And
I
just
do say that because like sunglasses, but loads of people buy sunglasses that
with UV protection,
but actually they're blocking you from actually getting that charge that you need for your.
So I would never tell anyone to sit there and stare blindly at the sun, because that would just be silly and cause damage. But if you can sit with your eyes closed, obviously as children we used to do it, we'd see red, I guess it's the blood vessels that we're seeing as the sun kind of hits our eyes. The longer you sit there, you might find that it goes orange and green and yellow. That's an individual thing or whatever. The longer you can sit there, the more, again, at peace you are, the more you will stabilise.
I think I read something yesterday that said the darker you are, the longer you need to sit in the sun.
Yes.
And there's sort of pros and cons to wearing sunblock and things like that. So I'd research it, but it's really important you get, especially if you're melanated, you need to get out in the sun. And to make you feel good, to release all those. What are they called?
Well, we're trying to raise serotonin at the moment.
Serotonin.
But yes, and the opposite of that one is if you can get out in the midday sun between 12 and 2 and let the sunlight hit your eyelids, as I said, the opposite would be making sure that you're asleep before 12 o'clock at night. You need to be asleep before midnight. I know there are some people who work at night. I know there are some people who their genius kicks in at night and that's their best sort of creative time. But the opposite of 12 till 2 in the daytime would be 12 till 2 at night. You need to be asleep for that serotonin to be released. Circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm.
The circadian rhythm.
You need to go with that. You need to keep in sync with the earth, the sun, the moon, and this world, this earth, and what you're supposed to be doing.
So basically,
and some people do have to work nights, but it really will destroy your health.
It messes it up. It literally knocks your whole circadian rhythm out of gear. But so if you can fuel yourself with sun at 12 o'clock during the daytime, basically 12 o'clock at night time is when it all releases into your body, so you get the benefits from it. So we have 12 daytime for the sun and the recharging, and 12 midnight. Make sure you're asleep before that, so then your serotonin is released into all the parts of you that need it.
Always up like 12 till 2 a.m.
Literally.
I need to try and get myself into a rhythm.
It doesn't always happen, but if you are aware of 12 and 12, try your hardest. That's all you can do. All you can do is try your hardest.
Right.
So yes, and then it would be a walk in nature. So I think we've spoke about nature anyway. Reconnecting with nature will help stabilise your mood. If you kind of can stare at a tree swaying in the breeze and get into the rhythm of the tree, get your breathing in sync with that. If you can just listen to the birds, again, listen to children sort of playing and laughter in the park, get back in tune with the very basics of nature, of Mother Nature, of who we are. We need to reconnect. Not connect, reconnect, because we were all connected. We are connected. We need to reconnect with the elements, with the basic of human nature, to come back to ourselves.
Definitely.
Okay, the last one, I promise. Oh, sorry, one more for serotonin. Sorry, breathing exercises. That can be done during meditation. That could be done, obviously, before you go to sleep. That could be done while walking in nature. That could be done while you're sitting in the sun. Breathing exercises.
I do mine on the train just to avoid sort of panic attacks and sort of feeling enclosed, especially if the trains are delayed, held up on the track for some reason. But I try to do that on my journey, because I used to like try and fill my train journeys with reading, watching Netflix. You try to fill your mind.
You were filling your mind instead of being mindful, because mindful is emptying your
mind.
Exactly.
So I was trying to fill in my mind, and now I use that time, because it's a good 25 minutes of a journey, to be mindful. Whether that's playing some meditation music, or just simply breathing.
Literally.
Being in control of my breathing, it helps so much with my day and my week.
Literally.
So,
actually, in a nutshell then, I did sort of read something a long time ago, an article that said, if you can control your breathing, it was an article, I think it was a quote by a Buddhist monk, if you can control your breathing, you can control every aspect of your life. When you feel yourself reacting to something, 9 times out of 10, your breathing's out of sync, your heart rate then goes out of sync, then you are more reactive. Then you are more likely to absorb a lot more than just observing and processing. So control your breathing can actually help you to control just about every aspect of your life. Let's talk about childbirth.
Yeah.
For those, so breathing is vital. In the grand scheme of life, it's vital. You have to breathe through situations sometimes to get to the means to the end.
As glorious as it is, let's not talk about it.
No, that's another show. Right, let's go on to endorphins, which is the painkiller. So how to sort of subdue pain, not ignore pain, because we'd never tell you to ignore the hurts and the pains and plaster over cracks, because that's not actually how you heal. But endorphins would be sort of using essential oils, again, just relaxation, lying down. I'm a person that will put on chakra music, aura cleansing music, lie back with my headphones and put my crystals on my body and lie down.
Doesn't exercise release endorphins?
It does. Exercising and laughter, which we spoke about with children. So that's your own laughter, hearing laughter, watching a comedy, watching a funny film. A good belly laugh is a painkiller. It's a natural painkiller. So what can we say?
I think when we weren't in lockdown, at least 3 times a year we go to a comedy show.
Yes.
Like we've got some favourites, some real favourites, but we go ones where we buy a ticket, no matter how much the ticket is, because we know that it's going to do so much for you just once in a while. I mean, you can laugh at home with anyone. You can laugh with yourself watching something. You can laugh with a funny memory. But when you go to one of the comedy shows, like...
You know, there's moments when you're grabbing onto someone and you're
like you feel great for like months afterwards, you know, and you can always look back and remember that time, because they, you know, they get paid for making us laugh, for making fools out of stuff. But some of the all-time greats are, you know, life without them would just not be the same.
No, but you remember in the beginning, sort of first few weeks of lockdown, or maybe sort of into the second month, we messaged each other because Steptoe and Son was on, one of our dad's favourites, Steptoe and Son. We watched it at the same time in our own houses, but were sort of messaging each other because we knew that we were laughing at the same moment, at the same thing. It was so corny and so, oh my gosh, did we really used to laugh at that? But we still laugh.
How did we used to watch it?
No.
But it made you laugh, and that's what you need. Oh my gosh, the Real McCoy's back. Sorry, I shouldn't be advertising stuff on our channel, but I started watching it yesterday. It's not the same as I remember it, but it is very...
Because times have sort of moved
Times have changed. I tried, the children watch it with me. They were like, you used to watch this. But I got the jokes. The garms are hilarious.
Yes.
But I'm going to be watching that. That's the only thing I'm going to be watching for the next few weeks, is the Real McCoy, and just all seasons.
What would you say, okay, not to delve too much into it, but what would you say about the so-called controversy surrounding the season 6 not being aired, which is the most political season of the Real McCoy then?
I didn't even know that,
to
be fair.
Out of all the seasons that are being shown, they've supposedly lost the tapes or something like that for season 6.
I didn't know that, but I'm not going to let that affect...
Not your viewing,
but your... laughing. Because I'm going to take that, because obviously that we do shows about more serious things, about people who've got a platform not being able to have that platform to speak and being penalised, hella penalised recently, for speaking out on what they believe, being called all kinds of names that if it was someone from another nationality, it wouldn't happen. But that's just, as you said,
that's
some things are another
show.
Everything. Because when it comes to still being able to leave the negative there and raise your positive, you've got to be able to know when to do that. There's discussions, and then there's keeping energy. But I would like to take that positive and think, oh my gosh, the Real McCoy back from the, was it 90s?
Yes.
It's back. It's something, you know, that's a cult classic. It's from our time. It was hilarious. It can still be hilarious, make us laugh. And I'm just going to take that. Whatever negative comes for not airing season 2, at least we've got season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to take that as it is.
No, that's a good way to be, obviously, with so much going on. There is always, again, as we were saying, negative and positive, and it's about not ignoring the negative.
Not being blind. Know when's the time to have that discussion.
And what I love to call the ostrich syndrome, where people like to bury their head in the sand. That is far from what we are.
And I'm not a barrier. I'm very much an activist when it comes
when
to
you need to be. And a lot of the time as well, people, not everybody, a lot of the time you don't have to shout from the rooftops. There are many activists, there are many people, community leaders, there are many forward thinkers, there are many open-minded people who don't shout and chant about what they believe in, about their planning, about their strategizing, because what would be the point of talking about
some people
planning?
Are activists every day. Some
Yes.
people go in and are teaching the next generation. They have a very good
Yes.
platform in to discuss with governors, to make a curriculum, to be part of teaching certain histories. They are in a position to do that. So they do that from that level.
Yes.
They don't need to go out there and put a t-shirt that says BLM on it
Exactly.
to do that. There are people who need to do that.
Yes.
But, you know, when sometimes me and my partner, we talk about predestination, and some people are made to do that, to
Yes.
go out and write. That's their
has their
right
role.
and their gifts.
Yeah.
And some people make changes differently.
Yes.
So we've all got our part to play in this.
Some people
and
are
as
mind
building a
thinkers, some
nation.
people are feet thinkers, some
Yeah.
people are hand thinkers.
But
You
I
work with
take
your
my-
hands and you.
I take my hats off to those people who have platforms and have been speaking the truth, and we probably
Yes.
will do a show at a later date on that,
Definitely.
because it is quite controversial. Some
Definitely.
people, everyone has an opinion,
Yeah.
so we'll breach that. But keep your vibrations high. From sis to sis, we love you. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, hit that notification
Bell.
and we'll see you next time. Love ya.